All right. Hello, and welcome back to one of these dev streams. I'm Tim, the developer on Trapped on the FlipSide. Today we're going to be doing some level design, so might as well start. I thought I would start with a good little shot of the level design so far for the game, kind of showing you guys what it looks like at the moment. Very white and very blocky, as early game level design should be, or always seems to be. Today, however, we're going to be working on the second area. So this here was the first one. Over here is very blank and needs some love. So we're going to be working on that today. To open us up today, I will bring up a image here. There we go. Zoom out a tiny bit. This is a brainstorm that I did with a bunch of sketches of little ideas for today's level design stream, because I really want to explore the first of the equipments. So one of the abilities that the player is going to be able to get very early on in the game, which is the blast ability. Essentially, if you've been keeping up with the devlogs and some more of the past streams, you'll know that the blast is essentially a chargeable explosion that explodes all around the player. Now, something that I've been working on that's a bit new to the project is the breakable walls. However, I've redesigned them to be more like shifting walls. So essentially, if you deal damage to them, they will go from their natural state where it's fully expanded. And if any damage is applied to them, they will shift downwards, essentially shrinking as depending on the amount of damage that that is dealt based on their health. And then if it's set to regenerate, then it will regenerate over time up to where it was previously. And these are all variables that can be modified and customized as we need them in the game. So let's look through a couple of these little brainstorm ideas that we can put in. Let's go over the simpler ones just to get an idea. And as we create the level, we go over a bit more complicated ones that you see using the hazards and all that good stuff. So first one, very simple, is you have the wall blocking a passage. So you deal damage to the wall shrinks down and allows you to go by. And maybe over time it grows back, meaning that you will need to damage the wall every time you want to go by. And essentially the second one, once again, you could damage it, have it go down, but you could actually stand on it and have it be a sort of elevator. So you can go on it. As it regenerates, it'll bring you up and you can make the jump. And to add a bit more, let's say, danger to this mechanic, let's say we take the blocking the passage theme here, but now we apply some of the damaging fog at the top here, where essentially over a long period or a decently long chunk, you would need to constantly keep the wall from going up and pushing you up into this damaging area and basically making it to the opening on the other side. Something interesting with this ability, the blast ability, is, and I want to explore this through the level design, is that it will go through walls. And I thought about it, maybe not having it go through walls, see if that might be a bit overpowered, but if I use that more as a feature rather than most games where it's a bug, then that might be pretty interesting. So let's say there's an endless supply of essence here, the stuff that you use to, that's drained by the ability, but you have an endless supply here. And this wall has a massive amount of health and a very fast regeneration rate with a decently long delay before it starts regenerating. So essentially you would deal over the amount of damage that you would have in your reserve through the wall, and then make your way back through and kind of like deal with that as you go for the third chunk. So essentially prepping or preemptively damaging it through a wall without actively being right beside it. So the rest of these explore with more of the game design and more of the mechanics that I've put into place. So we could explore these as we go further down into adding more difficulty to the level design and more intricacy. But for now, let's keep it simple. This is the first time that these mechanics come that are playable in the game, so we want it to be a lot more of a tutorial than a challenge. So with that being said, let's close that up and let's get back into the game. So if I play right here, we'll be starting from this little level transition area, and we'll be able to playtest from here. Don't mind the ball turning semi-transparent and black from the camera movement. That's a little bit of a bug that's going to be fixed down the line. But yes, this is going to be our playground, and essentially we want it to wrap around into this little area so that it links to a massive door here down the line that will lead into the next area of the game. This other half of the area is going to be kept for another set of mechanics and another equipment. So the first one I want will be like right here, blocking you off and essentially using those walls to your advantage, or I guess to the advantage of the level design, since at this point in the game you do not have the ability anymore, or you don't have the ability yet. Okay, so let's try to get this not lag. Actually, turn off the stream for that one so that we don't have to load those. I'm not sure why this is lagging. Hello? Okay, we can deal with it. The first thing I want to add is, where is it? The landmark, there we go. One of these bad boys, so that essentially, as soon as you go to this level, this is the first thing that you see. I want it to be the right way, kind of like centralized to this little area. Bang, smack. This is the first thing you see, so it catches your eye. It's very bright. Let's set this up to be the right color, the red one. And there we go. So essentially the player comes here, interacts with this, gets the, actually I could show you guys myself. So it goes over here and interacts with this, sees this, and has no idea what to do because they don't have the proper equipments. So from here, it is a matter of making the level in order to get the equipment in the level. And with that, we could use the walls, that the kind of like shifting walls, to one, make platforms that the player cannot break at the moment, to explore the area, to block them off from bigger paths and all that good stuff. And once they do find the ability, they bring it back here. They are allowed to essentially break the walls and move on. With this area, I'm not sure if I'm going to have a lot of the color totems like we have in the previous area, as a lot of the kind of like blocking of pathways and the doors are going to be with this ability. All right, so let's start with the very basics and figure out where the player would go next. So let's say we can block this off and have another, let's say ability needed to go in this way. So right off the bat, let's get our cube. Yes. Let's get that, and there we go. And just to give ourselves a good old barrier to block off where we want to add the level design, essentially restricting the area that we have to work with so that we're not over scoping this area and just using the bare minimum of space that we require. So, let's see the shape that we have. If we split like this, you would have this area for that, this area for that. However, I do want a third area for the third ability. So let's be smart about this. Let's do it. I'd say having it like this, where you have bang like that, this for the second, and that for the third. Yeah, okay. With this as much as we need. And there. All right. Now we got a wall. Very, very nice. It is quite quite cramped in this area, but we could work with that. Which means essentially this should be our kind of path forward. So everything that we want in order to find the equipment should be here, which gives us a lot of verticality to work with, a lot of like working with what you got type of vibe. So that might be fun to work with. Let's block this off real quick. We could work on a door afterwards. And there we go. Okay. So essentially, let's... Actually, I do have an idea. However, where would be the best place for this? I do like smack dab in the middle. Yeah. Just make sure of that. Yeah. Something like that. Okay. So now, let's say, what is the best? I want to see what the best kind of like angle of view. So you come here, you have this, and like that corner really piques my interest or attracts the eye. So I think if we put the equipment that you need to get up there and then have like just platforming puzzles to get there that goes along the walls, maybe use like one or two totems to access a door or so, then that might be interesting. So essentially we have this. I might move it closer just to get the eye a lot more. I don't think it matters that it overlaps there, so let's put it like right there. See how that feels. Yeah, so right there, boom, first thing you see, then boom, like next thing you see is there. However, it might be there. Let's turn this so that the display doesn't actually cover the corner that we want to get your attention to. So you go here, dupe, and corner's still there, kind of like in line with the first ability, which is nice. Let's get started. All right. This might be a bit weird to get a platform here, considering the shape. Should be fine. Let's get a better view. There we go. I mean, actually, I don't think it matters considering that these would be unloaded if you're in the other levels, so I don't think it matters that it sticks out the edges. Aha. There we go. Good little trick, I guess. So boom. Make it a bit bigger. And now let's put our end goal. So where are they? No, there we go. Put our pickup right there. Just make sure it's not on the floor. Actually, what would be funny is if you saw it kind of like dangling on the edge. So let's make that happen. There we go. And essentially, let's see how that looks. Because a lot of, or a very important part of level design is the sightlines. So as soon as you enter kind of like a new, whoop, essentially whenever you enter a new, come on. I know it's still doing the issue, please. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo that. What was I saying? Yes. Essentially, a big part of level design is sightlines. Just making sure once you enter a new area or enter kind of like a plaza or pretty much actually any time you're playing the game is that you see where you need to go or you have things that are either directly or subconsciously pointing you in the right direction. So here we have this big glowing thing right in front of you and the very bright, very obvious thing in the corner. So now the player is enticed to, okay, what is this? Does nothing. Now what is that? How do I get there? And now we need to figure out how to actually guide the player to get there. So let's do that real quick. I do feel like having them pass here, like being aware that this is a something, is a quite important thing to do. So actually, let's do this. Bring this up, and let's add our first. Right, I put in the hazards. Our first wall. And essentially, I have it set up very simply that I could just change the scale of the actual actor and it'll just work. So essentially, for that, I also need to be aware of the amount of essence that I give them. So I'll put some of the puddles here and there, making sure that the player can actually use the ability. That is quite the important step, I feel. Okay, so that clips there. Do I want it to be this? Yeah, okay. Do I want it to go all the way there, though? I could polish it up down the line. And does it clip there? No. Okay, we're good. So essentially, I want the player to go across here at one point, maybe doing a couple jumps along this wall, making their way here, and yeah. So for here, let's see what I can do. Let's start with the simplest way to do it. So let's just make a way to go up here, make a way to go up there, and see in between these if any more gameplay would be interesting. Because I don't want to go too complicated to start with. Okay. So going along with that theme of simplicity, let's just start with a ramp. See, that is simple enough, complicated enough, and works well enough. So essentially, you should be able to make that. Now it's just a matter of getting up here. In that case, might as well add another ramp. Actually, I'll just do it along the same wall for now. And go, add platform. Just like a little staircase type thing. Just to see what it feels like to kind of move around vertically in this little space. Okay. So let's see. Ooh, okay. Okay, this is nice. There we go. And jump at the end. So this is a lot more kind of like intuitive or engaging than I thought it would be. So something simple along those lines might work wonders. Now it's a matter of me. I actually have the equipment, but I don't have any essence to do anything with it. So I would say let's add a puddle just everywhere here, just to like as soon as you get out of the equipment or out of the this here, that you have the equipment right there and it shows up and you're like, oh, okay, something new, and you are enticed to use it. So for that, let's go to our trusty landscape mode. Let's dig a hole a little bit. Go, that's about as deep as I want it. And now we flatten it to the point, or pretty much everywhere to that depth. Essentially, I should probably make the strength a bit more, size maybe. Not too big, there we go. And I'll have to bring this down as well. Actually, no. I would like this to be still elevated. It might be a bit trickier to get off of it. Actually, yeah, let's make all of the area around here kind of like the puddle, essentially forcing you to go in it after you get the ability or the equipment. Okay. Let's bring it over here as well. Hopefully it doesn't mess with the landscape on this side. Doesn't seem like it should. Okay. I do want to raise this again. I do want maybe to have like a path here so that maybe you can go back into this level without it. And surrounding little area so that you actually can jump into it. There we go, something like that. Let's see how that feels. Oh, actually, before, let's add the puddle. Tries every puddle. Boom. Right. There we go. Make sure it covers every little bit. Should be fine, like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Now let's do our typical that. And essentially, we now have this, which allows us, yeah, look at that. Now it's very central, very much like, hey, come here, check this out. This will also be the first time that you actually are able to interact with one of the team members, so it'll play a pretty good role in the narrative. You'll be able to kind of check your status and, of course, go through the equipments, kind of unlocking the new equipments. And just a very kind of like pinnacle moment in the game, or in the early game. So this shall be good. The landscape needs a bit of smoothing out, but other than that, we got something good so far. So essentially, now we have all the necessary components for this little area to work. If I can make the jump, might make this thicker. Here we go. And like, essentially, Now that I have this, I come back here, I unlock it, and immediately have it because I'm already filled with the essence that's required, so and I could use the ability. Oh, that's very interesting. The outline post-processing is being very interesting with a bunch of this stuff. Now, there we go, you can see, and we could pass by, it regenerates because this is what I have it as default, and now you're blocked in, you can carry on. But this is kind of like, oh, wait. Okay, that's something I might want to look into, is adding another little puddle here somewhere to regenerate you. So let's do that real quick. Just as a placeholder. Uh, that is way too deep. Oh, hold on. Some more of that. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Into there. Just a little temporary thing. That red. There we go, just to get by. So now, let's spruce this up a little bit. I want these walls to kind of be everywhere in this area so that you can test out and try out like how they work, what they do, and all that good stuff. Let's say this area should be accessible from like a door here, so maybe have a laser that blocks you until you get the shield ability, all that good stuff. And yeah, all right. Let's make some interesting stuff happen here. So we do want to keep this sightline. I do really like this sightline here. We could add a bunch of stuff here. We could have it be like a multi-path way to get up. So you could maybe go from here, jump, kind of like boop, 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 along this wall, maybe along this wall. Maybe have like a intersecting way from one wall to the other. In this area, I do think it would be best to prioritize without having any doors to like any of the other here if I show it, there we go, any of the other mechanics. So no totems, no like hazards or anything like that, just to have this little area as a teaching, like this is specifically what you need to know when leaving. So that might be a little constraint to keep this little area niche. However, it should work. Let's add a couple more of these walls. Let's make sure that like pretty much all the platforms, all the platforming should be made of these walls, just to make it pretty interesting. So right off the bat, let's say I want to add a wall here. So this will be kind of like the initial platform to go from. Jump on this, whichever way you want to go starts from here. And again, it doesn't matter that it's intersecting with this area, considering that it'll be in a different stream, so it will not be loaded while that area is loaded. And it should be the same here. Should have once you go through this massive door here, which is gonna happen eventually, I might have a little one of these switcheroos thingies. All right, let's carry on with this. And let's make this ramp a little bit more interesting. There we go. And of course, these could be placed like diagonally or along a wall and all that good stuff. They do work. It's just really based on their local rotation. Okay. And at this point, we don't want any of the walls needed, or we don't want to have like any of the walls where you require shooting them down. However, I do like the idea of having one. Oh, crap, still attached to that one. Let me see here. Yes, okay. Nope. Ah. Pressing all the wrong buttons. There we go, this one. I do, continuing my train of thought, I do want one that is at the end here, that you break it and kind of just brings you all the way up. Just as a little, uh, just as a little, what's it called? Non-unintentional, but subliminal way of teaching. Like, hey, you could use this as an elevator if you think about it, or if you try it out. That's that. And let's keep these thin, just to make sure that they are. I don't know how I feel about having them like intersect with each other, so let's try to avoid that. Because again, they're not going to stay as these black cubes that look very basic. They're actually going to, down the line, once we get into the art, and have like their own design and all this good stuff. So let's see now. From here, that'll lead up to there, which means I should. Actually, let's see how this plays real quick. I just want to get an idea as to where the next step should be, just to make sure. You jump up here. Oh, might not be. Yep, can't make the jump. So essentially that. What does it look like here? You might want to bring this closer actually. So you jump here, and then like this little area becomes like an elevated spot. So let's use that real quick. So let's say now you have to make it to there instead of where it was before. Is this lined up with that? Seems like it. So once again, making it super simple, because essentially this is not where we want challenge. We want the player to kind of understand what they have to do in order to move on. So yeah, let's do it like this. I have an idea. Where essentially this now be lined up with that. Okay, just make sure it doesn't intersect. Yeah, something along those lines. Okay, I do admit with the black it is a bit hard to see, so I might need to add a couple of these just static platforms. Let's see here. Actually, let's do our typical yeah, okay. However, I'm not sure if this will work with the way that this is. Yeah, it's gonna look weird. Let's keep it not. Unless. I have an idea. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna add. I wonder if this works actually. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna place it with cube. Nice. It's pretty much exactly what I wanted it to happen, so Go. I just need to make it a bit chunkier on both sides. Not like a little encapsulated platform, little encasement. That's good. I do think that these should allow the player to move on the side here, so okay. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Okay, I do like having this kind of like link up with the other. It's a bit higher, which is good. I do want to keep the elevator one here. I'll be honest, I don't think this needs to be one of those anymore, so for the sake of keeping it actually hold on. Do that trick again. For the sake of keeping it kind of like clean or easy to read, let's do this instead. Go. And I can add another one here to be the jump from there to there. Which means I might need to lower this, but it should be fine. Let's try that. Let's see the scope of things real quick. All right. Let's see this. Okay, so all we need is a little ledge here to get on this, which is nice. Then maybe have a little bridge. Let's see if you fall here, you should be fine to go back. If you fall here, yeah, should be fine. Can't unless hold on, let's see if we get the speed to go up here. Whoop, camera, thank you. Okay, so you can get the speed to go up there, but it doesn't necessarily do anything because it's too thin, which is good. All right. So, start with this little ledge. Oop. Little ledge right here. Never hurt anyone. Essentially, I could block this off and have like a puddle of damaging charged essence or something, but I'm not that cruel yet. Let's see, we got this. Boop. Go just about as high as the player could jump. Have it expand there so that they have enough time to react or so. There we go. That might be a bit weird of a jump, so let's kind of like get a happy medium. There. Here, however, actually, I don't think I want that as one of those either. It's one of these and have it kind of like ledge off diagonally. So kind of like that, so that this jump is possible, but not too difficult. So let's make it longer. Some out of that. Yeah. Bring it lower. Do that. See what we got. Essentially, you're forced to get this. Now make this jump. There. It's a bit intuitive. And this jump, however, still feels a bit difficult, so let's bring this down a bit. Because that jump just balanced out. Because the next jump seemed a bit too easy in comparison, so boom, 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 boom. There we go, got that. now I can move on. Do like the idea of decorating this little area with these, so might as well. I do want, say, this. Let's check how deep it needs to be. Something like that. Change the size, just kind of decorating the little area. Without necessarily breaking that line of sight. Actually, maybe even enforcing it. Kind of like that. There we go, something. You also might want to break line of sight at some point, just to like get that effect of just having the player like be, oh, where do I go? Keeping it a bit interesting. Yeah, okay. I do like the effect that these give, kind of like honing in on that here, almost breaking this line of sight a little bit. This jump is now super easy to do, and or still requires some attention because of the ramp. And yeah, okay. We might be able to play around with these to have like a little side goal using these jump, 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 or some. Or actually, you could just break one of them and boost all the way up. And have it be like, what the heck? How do you get over there without, like early on? Anyways, typical level design stuff. Dangling the reward, all that good stuff. Okay. I do want to make this one coincide with the wall again, so do this. Considering that is now part, or there's like an exit this way, I don't really think this needs a way out too much. I still think it's important, so let's make it as close as we can to here. There we go. Yeah, yeah, okay. And essentially, make ourselves another one here. This is going to be a bit hard to traverse, so instead of that, let's make it sideways. And essentially now, we can ramp this, boop. A bit too much of a ramp. Like that. There we go. Now you have jump, jump, and okay. Do want it to be more of these ones, so let's take care of this ramp here. Add one of these here. I guess I can make just this one be like more of a major platform that you could jump to. So essentially I could make this one just a bit tougher to get here. Yeah, okay. I'll decorate the surrounding with a lot more of the small ones just to give that sense of this area being a thing. However, this is important that this stays open so that it kind of like arches into, hey, this is the way to go. I could make this smaller and add some borders, which may work better to indicate that. So let's go for that. Yeah, okay. So that's gonna have a bit of Z fighting when we texture it, but that's a future problem or a future concern. Ooh, actually, you know what? I wonder if this would be a good idea, just to have... Ooh, yes, okay, I have an idea. I'm going to have these be slivers, kind of like bars, so that it does show like, hey, this is the way, but you can't go through it. And that this... let's take care of this one first. Oop. There we go. That, get rid of this last one. Oop. And get rid of this last one too. Yeah, it's a bit thick. There we go. Some of that one. Don't need to be perfect. And essentially, aha, so now you can see it's there. Might change them up just for sake of visibility. And actually this, I do still want to use it as platform. So essentially I could now bring it out here. Yeah, okay. And bring it down a bit just to give that even more of a sliver of how do I get by? Yeah, okay. So now it's a matter of going from here to here, which you jump to here, you jump, have this kind of like little viewing platform. I am tempted, actually I am tempted to have these be a little platform area. Oh, however, if I do add more here, it'll block the line of sight from here. So let's keep it as simple as possible. And by that, I mean, let's add another platform here. And essentially, we get the rotation right. Go from here to there. Which means if we line this, that means you'll end up here, which means we could have it wrap around this way instead and have you use there. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Essentially, we could go. Go. Just for the time being, let's try this out. Okay, we got that. That brings you over here. Just for the sake of testing, or for the sake of making sure we got something that, in theory, may be good. This. Let's do a bold move. Have it go this way as well. Might as well. That. Ooh, have it like a pipe or something that just goes straight through. That'd be cool. Or something along those lines. Like a half pipe. Yeah. And essentially, what? No, we're not here yet, but just to get a sense of the length of this. There we go. Okay. We got that. And we'll go through like that. move this, move it here. I'll go ahead and fix it afterwards. Essentially, you got a good little pathway here, little narrow thing, and all this good stuff that could happen here. So we could, oh yeah, actually let's add another one like this. Add a bit more challenge. And rotations. There we go. Boop. Essentially, there we go. So, oh, okay, interesting. I wonder if I do this. Considering the rotation of these two isn't exactly what I want it to be. Huh? It kind of worked. Okay. Yeah, and there we go. Something like that. Don't want it to be too punishing, so let's just keep it as a slight slant here. There we go, something along those lines that you won't necessarily be able to traverse there, or if you want, you could try it, but the point is to do this. So let's keep it fairly good platform. Let's move these over here because I don't want to punish the player too much if they do fall, because it is quite a long track back. So, how would I go about adding a checkpoint? I could essentially just add like a platform that keeps you up here, but that'll mess with the sight lines. That would mess with the things. Actually, I could just add a massive just thing that brings you back here. Yeah, let's try that. Of course that misaligned because that. So let's put you here and let's play it by ear. Let's do this. There we go. Essentially, you should not be able to mess the jump up too badly because this is here, and if you fall, then you'll just return here. Let's try adding another one of these. Now, yeah, yeah, nope. Dang it! Wait, nope. Okay, so it does mess up that way, which is funny. Which is, don't think it should because it's aligned with the wall. Alright, anyways. Actually, let's set it straight and just do it this way. Yeah, that works. Let's see what we got so far. So essentially, oh, okay. This little area is a bit wonky. Okay. It's a little bit tight in terms of the jumps. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is interesting considering this is open. And, oh, okay. I'll need to keep that in mind. Oh. Okay. A couple little tricks that we need to add. Um, actually, let's add it from here. I think I want this door to be smaller. Essentially, I want that to be a wall that blocks you from falling. Because it doesn't seem fair that if you just roll off the edge, you gotta start everything again. So let's do that. Make this door. Ooh, actually, nope. That's not how this one works. Door mesh. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, that's how this one works. Alright, well, I guess we're changing this up like this. Boop. And da 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 da. There we go. Let's see if this door still works. Ah. Okay, so that, yeah, okay, that wall should not be in the streaming. Should be in the persistent. There we go. That should work. Yeah. Now, boop. Go. Okay, this platform does block the sight line, even from here. Yep, okay. This has got to go. Go back to our level. And think about this. Oh, I know. I know. Let's add like a little kind of walkway up. So if you get let's say there's a totem that's in this corner, let's make this little platform a bit bigger so we can move this and all that good stuff. Um, and essentially, here. Essentially, if you get here, then there might be like a door that opens down here to like a little stairway. So essentially, we could also use these little bad boys instead of having them randomly there, have them act as the little stairway to get up back here. Yeah, genius. Or a little bit of ingenuity, I guess. Okay, so let's make this little platform. And of course, it might be subject to change based on what this kind of like long beam ends up being. And yeah, okay. Let's see this. All right, moment of truth. Let's add our totem. Ooh, it's a bit big. Should be fine like that. Rotate it appropriately. Add the camera over here. Where are the camera? There we go. Yoink. Hello? There we go. Some vigorous rotating and moving. No, wrong axis. Ah. There we go. Alright, so essentially, this should be fine in terms of showing what happens. Do like that, boop. And maybe have like a door opener down here. And essentially, well, what can we do? Have a way up. Because we don't, once again, we do not want to block the sightline. That's like very important. So I could go from here, boop, 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 all the way up. Means this needs to have space under it so that the player can jump up. Of course, that. This needs to be world space. I'm going to move it up. About that much should be good. And actually, we could have a sliding door that goes like this with another platform that kind of blocks you. Yeah, that sounds fun. In that case, oh, this is covered here. Okay. Let's add another block here. Like, just copy this one. And just slightly above the puddle and the landscape. There we go. Just as a little clean base to work from. Let's make sure it connects aesthetically pleasingly to everything. So it connects there, fine. Connects here, fine. Does not interrupt any of that. And now we can move these over here. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. So let's start. Small jump. These can all be kind of like side by side, so I might actually keep those ones. Why not? So essentially, moving down the line, very simple jumping. But essentially, this last one needs to be tall enough to... okay. What would be the predicament here? Oh, actually, scratch that. This one is gonna go here, just like that. Move it close. Have them be thinner, just to keep on space. Have like a graph bar looking stairs. And there we go. So we got the, what I'm gonna dub the stonks checkpoint in progress. Essentially what I can do is go here, do this, have this be where the door is, so it kind of like just blocks you from going. Let's add our door. Boom. Door. Totem door. Yeah. This tiny thing. Okay, hold on. I need to be smart about this because I have these, once again, set up a very unique way, or a very specific way. So essentially, I need to finagle it a bit more than you would think. Let's have it right on the edge so that the player can't really jump up here. There. Let's bring it up where I think it should be. There we go. And not cutting in too much. All right. So now, very simply, got to connect you to red. I need you to be with that one. That should be it. That should be all that's necessary. We got the red bar showing up. Now we just need to make it accessible. Let's see. Essentially, that should be enough. I can't have that be below that, otherwise some issues may arise. So make this thinner. This one could be thinner. Just make some space for this one. And have that be that. Okay. Let's see this. So we got our stonks stairway. From here you can kind of see a little checkpoint. Let's see if this is... Oh, well, right off the bat, we got an impossible jump. Which means most of these may be tough to make, so let's make even thinner. Like, I wonder if a ramp would be better. Might be a bit steep. Unless I have a ramp going here first and then go up here. It's like a little one of these bad boys. As a little thingy. That could work. That could also not work. Let's keep with this idea real quick. Just want to see. How far we get with this. So they all need to be lower than I anticipated, which means that this here be, yeah, the final jump. All right, let's check this out. Okay, every jump seems to be doable, and this one as well should be good. So now let's actually go try out the checkpoint. Oh, if I don't fail the very first jump. Go. And we could add some kind of like complexity to this down the line. Okay, so this is important. You can't really fall off. This, you get here. What's that? Aha. Okay, that might be something to look into. Okay, so that, essentially that. We may. Yeah, okay. So this should work essentially as that, and then you can come back and then, depending on how high this jump is, go along with that. Let's see if it messes with our sight lines. Doesn't seem to. Also, it's kind of like hidden, so that's good. Yeah, okay. So I'm liking it so far. Now let's see this. Let's fix this little this little thing. Let's make this part bigger just to for that. And all right, go top edge. Let's make it smaller because we want essentially this to be an actual possible jump. So let's change that. There. Should be good. Also, the angle of the camera was a bit wonky, so let's change that up. Where would I want it to be? So essentially like this would be best, I think, showing the staircase and that. Straighten it out. There we go. And that's fine. Okay. There we go. Now if we try it out, we got our sight line, we got our thing, we got this jump, which is still a bit tricky. So some, what is it called? Some balancing in terms of the level design might be needed to make this kind of less intricate. But we got our little checkpoint here. The door fully goes away. Let's see if, yeah, okay, so that's good. And essentially this works. It's a bit annoying to get up. However, oh, okay. I might need to move this platform up considering that you can go under it slightly. Or actually just make it chunkier. However, oh, this jump is not possible anymore, considering that. Okay. Very simple fix. Whoop, there we go. Ta-da. That, there's this, that should be thicker. Essentially, yeah, that should be fine. Then you'll be able to go here, then bounce back. I do, however, want this to be... it's fine like that. Yeah, it's fine like that. Okay. However, essentially... it would help a lot if this was not tilted like that. So let's actually just play it smart and put this directly like that. Which in turn would make this much better. That is that. Doors like that. Okay. But also, should we expand this one? I'll expand this one a tiny bit. So you have a bit more space to work with. However, I will shrink it a tiny bit this way. Yeah, alright. So we got this going on here. We got this one wrapped in there. Essentially, this feels a bit, however, like a long way through in terms of like this jump being a bit tight, this being a bit tight, so I think I could afford making this bit like that. This will do that, unless we do it like I could. Oh, actually, I have an idea. Instead of having it there, let's have it lined up with this one, if I can. There we go. Yeah. And have it kind of spring down from here. So essentially requiring you to not hug the wall, but actually do that. Is this... am I going crazy? Is this tilted? Oh, it is, actually. No, it's not. Not that way. That's not the way I wanted to. This is the way, I think, right? Yeah, okay. I was not crazy. Essentially, that'll bring you to there. Could lengthen it. I want to involve more of these, just to like kind of have it where it feels like you have to go around them, and it would be much more convenient to destroy them. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to switch this out for a cube. See if it... okay. And I'm going to have one of the walls kind of block your way, essentially forcing you to go somewhere that is a bit uncomfortable. So, we're just going to add one from the hazards. Let's add you, tilt it properly with this, and essentially I'll have the jump here be a bit of a safe jump, but force you to kind of go along that path there at the end. Right, this is a custom rotation. Copy that. Yeah, okay. should work, right? Yeah, okay. And essentially this would also be fine. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So that's that. But also add one here, just so that you kind of like loop around. Maybe a bit closer to each other. And of course, have them be tall enough that you don't actually jump on them, so that might be good. This one seems to be a bit too thick. There we go. Boop. And now a bit of tight squeeze you could get by here. This one essentially pseudo checkpoint, so if you actually do get up there but you need to get up there for another reason, ooh, actually that's a good idea. Have other things to do from when you get up here or from wherever you get up here so that you can like reuse them, and instead of going the long way around you could just pop the thing and have it go up. Yeah, okay. Like maybe a little secret passage like right here that would I want to mess with this part? I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So essentially, got that going on. This part seems fine. It's a bit of a tricky thing. We could have more of these walls kind of blocking your way. Maybe one that you have to like jump over, and it's like kind of tricky. Something along those lines. Yeah. And then, of course, we have the door here. It'll continue off of here, so don't really want to touch it. And also it's checkpoint, so this is a bit more, it's a bit sketchy in the first place. Here. Sorry. Sorry about that. Here, let's see. Actually, let's see how this feels for now. I just want to get a feel for what we got so far. So essentially you come here, you're a bit overwhelmed, but you see that shiny piece in the distance and you're like, ooh, okay, very much have to loop around to get up there. So you make this jump here. Is it a tight squeeze? Ooh, it's a tight squeeze. Do I like it as tight as that? I mean, kind of forces you to. However, do I like what I want you to go on the edge first and then go in? Because if you start in, then you have a clear, yeah, okay. There's that. There's a little bump here. And I do want it to kind of like tease you in a way. So like, let's say there's just a really like simple path that goes here, but it's blocked by a wall. I want one of those somewhere. Essentially, I could have it from here, but I don't want to, once again, there's a whole sightline issue. Oh, okay. Well, that's what I want to avoid as well. So let's switch these up first. See how that feels. This might be a bit too close to the edge, so let's do that. Do. I do. So we have that as the checkpoint. Where would it be good? We have that. Essentially, oh, I know. Okay. We could have it. Yeah, okay, we could have it here, and then have just a long one blocking here. And then Or we could have one here. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I think I got it. Let's use this bad boy. There we go. Boom. Let's make sure it's aligned properly. Go. So essentially this could be like a pipe that's busted or something along those lines. That goes up to just straight up all the way directly, boop, from there to there. Might need to make it a bit thicker and bring it down. Essentially, if you were able to make this jump, which I'll make it impossible from anywhere other than, or actually just add the wall like up here so you could get like halfway up and you're just blocked by the wall, which might be funny. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Okay, so essentially you could do that. That should line up with that if I want to do that. And there we go. So I do also still want to not block the line of sight. So let's make sure that that does not happen. Essentially also meaning that that needs to... Oh, okay, it's close, it's close. I might also want to revert this back to the way it was, considering that now you have like a little amount of security. So let's do that. Which means I could also... Ooh, this might be interesting. Yeah, so now you're forced to pass under that. It's thinner. Boop, boop, boop. This is a bit tricky, so I might add over... Actually, no. Hold on. It's time to be a genius. Because I wanted to add a post holding this up, because floating things like this don't necessarily make sense. So let's add that quick, and that could also serve as our little, like, what's it called? Little ramp thing. So let's make here, chunk, like this. Bring it up. Aha, exactly. Kind of like what I wanted. Perfect. And work, it's like, keep it centralized. So here, if you fall, it's kind of like on your own fault. Here, this is being held up like that. We could make it thinner just to add, to make it like that. I do maybe want to add this here just to give it even more reinforced kind of like stability. So let's do that. Or at least make it look like it's reinforced. Doesn't really affect the structure of it because considering it's all static. So that might be good. Does it tie in with this? It does. Actually, we should probably make it tie in with this like that, just in case anyone gets stuck. We don't want any soft locks. Okay. And whoop, there we go. Boom. Oh, wrong button. Ah, get. There we go. Okay. Back in business. However, I could, yeah, let's just add it there. So essentially, yeah, okay. We got ourselves a little shortcut. Let's say this doesn't go all the way. Have it kind of too good to be true. And let's add an extension to this little platform here. Oh, come on. Or not? Really? Yeah, that works. Essentially, creating our little fake shortcut. This, which also keeps that sightline, and yeah, okay. So that, ooh, remote, and down maybe. Essentially, also have this little platform here so that it connects to that. I do want, I always like to have the ramps kind of like go over the thing, so I'm gonna try to find a way to get that to work without messing up. Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly. I always want the ramp's lip to be over the actual platform that it's meant to go to, because it just works better from the controls I notice, or from what I feel. All right, let's see this here. Boom, boom, a little of that, a little bit of this. Sightline, are we looking good? uh, oh yeah, oh yeah, I like that. And now, to add the troll, um, essentially we should add it like here, because you don't want the player to jump from there or anything like that. Yeah, let's go for it. So here, just a massive wall. Not that massive. However, long enough to block the player. Should we make it just long enough? Nah. If they get enough momentum, they might be able to bypass it, so we don't want to do that. Unless I have the wall sticking out of the side here. Ooh, I kind of like that idea a bit better. Where it doesn't matter the length of it, because it just like goes all the way. It shouldn't mess with the sight line, and it shouldn't, like, this could also be thin. This could also be big. There we go. And boom. All right. I'm getting pretty comfortable with how this area is being designed. And might as well just keep going, actually. This is kind of like the last part that I didn't touch too much. So I just want to test this out, and then we continue finalizing the kind of like last little area. So come here, get good sight line. I do want to mess with this jump a bit actually before we continue, considering that it's a bit wonky. So, well, essentially I could just make this thicker and like prevent you from ever going down there, which may work in my favor. Did this mess? Yeah, okay, that messed up a tiny bit there, but that should be fine. Let's see. There we go. We're good over here. Okay, that's in the wall. Here, once again, these don't matter, considering that they'll be unloaded. The thing that matters is that... Oh, however, if the player does push it... okay. Okay. This is one of those things that you have to keep in mind in the back of your head all the time. Essentially, if when the player does get the ability and shoves this down, you'll be able to do that. So, okay. How do I want to fix this? Because I like the idea of this being like a push down little thing. But it's not necessary because it doesn't hide anything, or like it's just a platform, right? So But I do want the player to like use as many as we can. So we have 1, 2, 3, then the other 2, 4, 5, 6, which is not too much. That's why I want this to keep that. So essentially what I could do is I'll undo the change that I did here, make it that thin, keeping it so that the player can walk here, but I'm going to make this a bit thinner. And also have this be a bit smaller. So essentially now they make the jump. I might also add a little ledge here, so that it's easier to make this jump here, and specifically here. So there, the ledge. Like that. Essentially, there we go, something like that. Let's see how that plays out. There we go. Go up here. It's a bit too precise, I find. Yeah, because I want it to be smooth. Which means... Well, I could always... Yeah, okay, hold on, I have an idea. Or do I want to? I was thinking of moving this here so that I could mess around with having a more stable platform here. However, might not work in my favor. So let's... Oh, you know what? I have an idea. Yeah, shrink this. Put it over here. Or do I want to... Yeah. Let's have fun with it. So essentially the player often comes from this direction. So let's do it here. Make sure it doesn't mess with any of the spacing. So the player can go through here. And let's just straight up add another one right here. I can just reuse the cube here. So let's move this to center and expand it like so. Maybe get one center. That's good enough. And essentially, one below and one behind. So this is a little bit of a tricky jump to make, I think, but it's a bit more intuitive than what we had before. So you go right away over here, boom, boom, like there we go. Might play around with having them just straight instead of curved, or maybe have one straight, one curved. That could also work. Essentially, you go here, you make your way around here, do this, and you're like, ooh, you go that way. I like the fact that this kind of like looks blocked, or that you can't make the jump, or something along those lines. So essentially, you turn on here, and you're like, oh no, oh. Actually, I might want to add ramps to that, because it would suck that you try to go here and you just fall all the way down. So ramps might be a good idea. You jump here. Actually, I might have this be kind of straight, so have like a little thing that you jump on the lip and then you jump up. I like that. Kind of gives the sense of there being a wall, but you could actually get up it. This checkpoint, which is good. Because we can make this a bit harder, because right now how it is, it's a bit simple. Then you could like kind of, see where this kind of goes up. Essentially, you would have to go down, get the equipment, and let's play around with blowing stuff up. So you can blow this up, jump on it, and these are all still set to the default, so if I want to like change any of these... Oh, I like how this works. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is one of those issues that we have to keep in mind. This is too close to the platform, or to like a ceiling surface. So essentially this may need to be reworked. Or, actually, screw that. Just gonna add a cube. When in doubt, add a cube. Solves all the issues. Boom. So essentially, this will be like this. Now, I do want to make these like easier to maneuver. So let's bring them here and do that. Because they were a tiny bit tricky. Yeah, okay, you're overlapping a tiny bit. There we go. So now they are simpler. Let's make this the same size as that one, actually. Copy this one. Ah! Let's copy this one. There we go. Bring it down. It's the same length. And boom. That jump should be doable, right? That's but yeah, okay. But essentially we still have the issue with this one being like that, so let's smallify this. And that seems good. That seems fine, that seems fine. Let's make this a bit tougher. So once again, this sadly doesn't go with this little idea of things blocking your way. Actually, beforehand, I did want to change this up. Let's do this. Let's add our cube. Go. Yeah, that should be possible. Okay. Actually, I do still want it to keep the same width. And there we go, something like that. Oh. No, okay, it's moving along. Good. Right? Yeah, okay. So essentially, that should be doable. This should be a bit thicker. Just, it's not... There, okay. That should be good. However, I could... Yeah. Make that... Okay. It's a little change just to kind of like... You see this and you're like, well, you can't go that way. And then you're kind of forced to go that way. And... Let's see here. Like, I'm gonna play it one more time just to get a sense of what would feel good there, like in terms of the progression of this area. So you have these, which, I mean, these jumps by far seem to be the toughest. Okay, a little bit of that. Okay, let's see here. Can make it here. Essentially, it's very linear, which is good in terms of kind of tutorializing it. So here you would have this. So okay, so I think if we had these as platforms, but then have like required kind of like, yeah, okay, I think I know what I want. Um, Maybe one though. Maybe just in order to bypass like a wall that's here. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna have it. Does it need to? Let's see this. Okay, so essentially this is kind of what I want. There we go. And let's put it here. And essentially what this would do, if it does not block the sight line, oh, actually that's a good thing. Let's do what we did earlier, where it's just a bunch of like kind of like little beams. So essentially you'll be able to see on the other side without actually going to it. Yeah, okay. So essentially you're kind of like told like, hey, go there. Let's make sure that the sight line from here works. So you're here. Okay, so from here it works. From here it's blocked. Because I always want to keep that red equipment in the view. Oh, there's there we go. Wait, is it not aligned with the... No, it's aligned with the wall. Okay. Oops. There we go. Essentially, let's bring this out. And again, let's replace this with a cube. Essentially giving us everything we need just off to the side for some reason. And boom. Make this a bit bigger. Make this side. So that essentially it just serves as a kind of like a respawn little platform that you need to traverse. However, I will delete this one to route it. Where's it going? There we go. Okay. Test this. There we go. Make this a bit thinner. Essentially, that's all we need. Yeah. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Now we just add a good old amount of platforming up here. Let's see if it messes with the lights, the line of sight from down here. Doesn't seem to. Okay. Essentially we have that. We have this. And we could just mess around with having more of this kind of stuff. Maybe this kind of stuff. Actually, now I think of it, do I want... Nah, it's fine. Okay. Let's add ourselves these bad boys. There we go. And the first jump is always the hardest. Essentially. Actually, I don't think these need to be these walls. Let's just use the cubes for the sake of why not? I doubt this jump is possible, so let's do this. Just have fun with it. So essentially, because we don't want to make this part too difficult, right? Essentially, the whole premise is that the walls are blocking you from the optimal path. So let's keep it like this. Okay, seems to be fine. Okay. I wonder actually if I kind of going back and forth, if that would work. Essentially, I could add another one like this. And kind of make a little diagonal. And then let's say here. So what would be annoying? Oh, actually, okay. I think I got something. Grab one of these. Place it here. Cool if you can't necessarily make this jump unless you go off the edge of here and kind of make this diagonal. That'd be cool. And then you could use this as a little platform afterwards. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. We do that. Create this, which applies this to be a platform. And essentially, it's that. Once again, this could be a bit of a tricky jump from this being above you. That could work. There we go. Yeah, so you kind of have to go on the edge. So a little bit of precision jumping, but after you get past this part, I want to make it feel good, I guess. So we have this to, yeah, okay. I do want to add this, make it smaller. Ooh, not that way. Yeah, give it to me. There we go. This way. This might be a bit tighter than I had originally thought, but we'll see. We'll see. And then essentially have another one of these, maybe like up here, and have this be the final stretch. That brings you above this for a glorious kind of jump here. Yeah, okay. Essentially meaning that this should in fact go all the way up here. And I think, let's see. Actually, I might want to have this be tied to this one here. A bit bigger. Let's see if I could finish this in 7 minutes. Have a nice round number for the stream. Not kind of dawdle too much. Okay. I do like that. However, that seems to still be a bit too... Yeah, okay. Essentially, you would do these jumps, you would jump from here to here, and from here to have a little cove, or we have essentially this be the end where you just jump, there's a platform here, and you just do the rest. For the sake of making it less, or making it easier than it, I guess, or make it easier than it should be, I guess, I don't know, or than it is, and keeping it from being harder than it is, that's the word. Let's do that. So we have here, platform, essentially going from here to here, keeping it a bit tight, and go. Seems to be a bit too long. Could keep it the theme of there being like a little gap between them, so might as well. That pushes from there, that pushes from there, so that's fine. This should be fine as well. Bring them up a tiny bit, just to secure that jump. And let's try this out. I still want to kind of like change that jump so it's not too difficult. Go. I haven't actually... Oh, wait, you could jump over that? Oh, yeah, from this direction, I guess. So, that's actually pretty... That's a little nice mechanic. I might actually implement that somewhere. Whoa, okay. That does that. Interesting. A few little tweaks here that might need to be made. But essentially, you go here to unlock this little checkpoint. And aha! First things first, we need to make the jump. Oh, okay, this is interesting. You can actually get in there and... Okay, so this works. Let's see if you can... Oh, you can. And you're stuck. Yep, okay, that's what I thought. In that case, might need to make this a bit more like that. Which means I'm gonna have to change the camera around again. Unless, oh, actually, unless, I have an idea. Let's make it a platform, or put it on a platform, I should say. so that you could pass by it without having to go through the whole thing again. And here, let's keep it kind of like, oop, that out. There. So you can pass by it without necessarily doing that. Let's see here. All right, give me just a second. All right. Okay, let's carry on. So this being on a pedestal means you don't necessarily get soft lock and you don't necessarily automatically get in every time. However, we do need to make sure that it's accessible in all directions. So that, and make this a bit thinner. So that should, in theory, be thick enough for that. We could also move it this way some. Yeah, okay. Okay. So that should work fine with that. This jump still remains a bit difficult, so let's improve this a tiny bit. Still need to be able to pass by the ball, which seems like it's good to go. That jump seems good to go. I could probably just bring this down and shrink it a tiny bit so that the jump is possible. Means these as well. That I think I'll keep like that, because there's this whole theme of like little divots between things in this little area, so I might as well keep that going. Actually, I do want to keep this at the height that it is. And I do want to move this down, making it again, making sure nothing is misaligned. There we go, boom, something like that. And simply just add another cube here to make this jump. Should be enough. So let's try it again. Actually, beforehand, I do want to change this up. So let's bring this back to this one. Seems good. And let's simply make this one and bring it down to something like that. And that should work. Essentially, you make this jump. Oh, if you can make this jump, there we go. Boom. So kind of a nice two-step, like sloped and then not sloped, kind of like jumps over there. And now we go here. Here we can bypass over here, which is nice. We have this, so if you kind of go first, this jump is possible. However, if we whoa, crap. Ramps may be needed to make sure that that kind of stuff doesn't happen. Might help, of course, if you want to go fast. The ball controls may be a bit difficult or a bit unintuitive if you do want to go fast in these tight spaces. So a little bit of leeway in terms of like human error may be appreciated. Okay. So let's see. Plug in here. And poop back out. We don't fall off. Let's see if it works on all three sides. Okay, so this just plops you up there, so you might need to. And this plops you up there. Okay. Ramp might be needed here, but otherwise should be fine. These jumps are possible. I love how cramped this little area is, like forcing me to go. Okay, so that's good. Okay. Might want to add ramp there as well. Here, go back. Try again. And of course, there's the checkpoint, so you could climb up here and not have to do everything all over again, considering this seems to be the toughest part of the puzzle here. Let's see. Okay, so that might need to extend that a tiny bit, but essentially once you're here, it's kind of like scot-free, home free, you're good. You make the jump here, you can jump all the way to the end, you can jump on this thing, and essentially you're here, where you get the equipment, and now the kind of like bird's eye view kind of like links you back down to here, and now you can hit the blast. And essentially everything should be fine. Let's try this again, actually. So essentially I shouldn't... Oh, well, if I don't walk off accidentally. Yeah, okay, so it nudges you out of the way, which is good. These kind of like act similarly as well. It should be fine. Oh, actually, let me go get more. I were to do this and go against here, yeah, that just pushes you up, it's fine. Here, I don't think it'll mess with any of these. So essentially, let's see here. This one, wasn't enough. All right. I think I'm gonna wrap up here. I just want to double check all these little things. Okay, so this one is actually in fact clipping with that, so I might need to change that. But here's like your best way up. Enough of here. If you need to go back down, or if you need to go the other way, you could just do this. I do want to check with these actually, because essentially you should be able to smack this and yeah, have those go out of the way. I might do a little quick change here, just to make sure that one, this doesn't overlap this. So let's change this here. Boop. And two, actually, yeah, let's bring it down. Let's bring it back down because I do want the sense of you being able to break these and make it there. However, I think if I extend these, actually I'll just extend the two bottom ones. Or, no, actually it'd be better to extend all of them considering. So extend all of them, just a bit more. Because I want to add a ramp here that just leads to the end, kind of like another instance of you being blocked by these kind of walls. So essentially, oop, there we go, some of that. Good to go. Just a bit more. There. And yeah, so that'll block you there. Let's see if that blocks the sight line or anything like that. A tiny bit, which means I might want to just wrap around that there very tightly. Yeah, let's do that. So let's instead put this a bit closer to that. Make sure it doesn't overlap. Boom, there we go. Put that there. And essentially have this here as well, but just be at the end here so that it kind of so this will always act kind of like an elevator. This might be a bit blocky with this, so let's move these actually a bit forward. And whoop. Why am I taking that with me? Get out of here. Move these a bit forward, make them a bit thinner, and everything should be fine in the world. Okay. I might be able to actually... nah, that's not worth it. However, I could space them out a bit more to allow more visibility through, so let's do that real quick. So essentially, that should be enough to not allow the player through. Essentially not needing this top one anymore. I'll have to try it out, but in theory it should be fine. And I think this is gonna be the last thing that I do before I end the stream. Yeah, got some pretty good progress today. Once again, level design seems to be takes longer than I had anticipated. I really thought I'd be done with this little area within like 2 hours. But as you can see, very much not the case. Ooh, actually, this might be a pretty interesting spot for a puzzle involving this singular totem. So let's say we could reuse this area to add the other colors around that you have to now use the blast to get to, and then bring it back here and all this good stuff. Yeah, that might be interesting. And maybe have, well, maybe not this door, but maybe have like another door based on this that leads to like a little secret or a little, like one of the hidden things that I want in the game. Okay, so definitely I can move this a bit to the side. This jump's a bit tricky, so actually I did want to see, you cannot make it through here as much as you want, and of course pushing forward makes the ball kind of go just slightly under it, which triggers the kind of first person mode thing, but I don't think you could get through it, so you're kind of forced back over here, which I really like this little area, despite there not being any rails. I really need to work on that. But yeah, let's see. Let's make it to the end for once, just to see how it goes. So we'll go here. Yeah. Nope. Okay. Ball physics are ball physics. Ramps are futile, not futile. Necessary. Helpful. Needed. Okay, now I'm just throwing for content, I'll be honest with you. The stream has been going long enough. We want to end. We want to see the victory. Definitely, I'll definitely balance this area to make it less difficult, because it is still very early in the game. Oh, wow. Okay, that's just rude. And once again, I think I designed this area a bit too tight. It feels a bit tricky, so some more balancing is going to be needed. For example, there is something very much unintentional that has been happening. So essentially you should be able to, there we go, jump all the way in to the end. Now we could just, so this seems like a fine thing. We might need to, oh, yep, And we got a soft lock right here. I can't jump. Oh, somehow I got over there. Okay. Let's just double check this like little elevator with the blast and call it a day. So essentially, I should be able to come over here, boop, bang, bop, brings me all the way up. This might also be a little, yeah, okay. So I think if I go on the edge here, yeah, so this is too close to that. Okay. There's just minor fixes here and there. Something simple like putting this a bit closer to there, fixes that. This, pushing this side here, making it thinner, and making sure that there is a decent amount of space between that and that without having another soft lock, please. There we go, boom, boom. And I think that's about it for what I wanted to do today. Of course, I'll touch it up, I'll rebalance kind of like the harder areas, but essentially, we got the start of our second area. I never even tried to show you guys what after getting the equipment, exploding this, and going to the rest of the game. Oh, that's for later later times, I guess. So yeah, let's stop it here. I guess another thing that I could touch on while I'm here is today there was not a devlog because I wanted to do this instead. It's very simple. So I'll make sure to have a devlog next week going over kind of like all the changes, all the new stuff, and including this new level design area. And yeah. So I've been Tim from Time Moth Games. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for any more progress on the game, and check out our previous games on the itch link in the description. And I guess I could tease that we will be having another game as of after next weekend, because I'll be participating in another game jam with a few of the team members, and so keep an eye out for that. That might be fun. Whatever we end up making, we have no idea. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.